You stand, a figure cloaked in the finest linen, within the hallowed, dimly lit confines of the temple of Isis in ancient Egypt. The air, thick with the scent of lotus blossoms and burning incense, swirls around you, carrying whispers of ceremonies performed for millennia. As a young priestess, blessed with a lineage that brushes against royalty and a keen intuition for the subtle shifts in the cosmic weave, you are acutely aware of the weight of history pressing down on these very stones. Each hieroglyph on the towering columns seems to pulse with forgotten knowledge, and the silent, watchful gaze of the statues of gods feels almost palpable. This isn't just a place of worship, it's a living archive, a repository of secrets that predate memory. Suddenly, a tremor ripples through the very foundations of the temple, the deep, guttural growl that seems to emanate from the earth's core. The sacred oils in their alabaster lamps flicker wildly, casting dancing shadows that stretch and shrink like specters. Dust motes, disturbed from centuries of slumber, swirling in the shafts of moonlight piercing the high windows. It's a seismic shock unlike any felt in living a memory, not just here, but, as later reports would confirm, echoing across the distant lands of the Mycenaeans. The high priests, their faces etched with a mixture of awe and terror, murmur incantations to calm the agitated deities, but even their voices betray a profound unease. You, however, feel something different, a cold certainty, a prickling sensation that runs down your spine, signaling not just an event, but a profound omen. That night, as you drift into a fitful sleep amidst the ancient scrolls in your chambers, the tremor translates into a vivid, waking dream. You see not one, but two great rivers, one flowing with the vibrant green of the Nile, teeming with life, and the other, a vast, undulating expanse of deep blue, the endless sea. A voice, resonant and ancient, whispers of two royal bloodlines from distant lands, one from the river of life, one from the sea of souls. It speaks of an ancient curse, a disequilibrium threatening to unravel the very fabric of existence, and the necessity for these two bloodlines to converge to restore balance. Images flash before your mind's eye, the soaring peaks of a foreign land, strange, circular tombs, and a shimmering, scarab-shaped amulet that seems to pulse with an inner light, guiding a path across the water. The next morning, the pharaoh, a man of immense power yet also deeply reverent of the divine, convenes his highest council of priests and viziers. The reports from the seismologists and astrologers are grim, predicting further calamities if the balance is not restored. There's a palpable tension in the air, a sense of urgency that permeates every discussion. The pharaoh, after long deliberation and seeking guidance from the oracles, makes a momentous decision. A diplomatic delegation must be dispatched to the mysterious lands of the Hellenes, a people known to the Egyptians primarily through sporadic trade and vague, often exaggerated, tales of fierce warriors and gods of the sea. These people, though distant, are believed to hold a piece of the puzzle, a reflection of the strange cosmic disturbances now plaguing Egypt. To lead his unprecedented mission, Pharaoh turns to you. Your youth might be at point of concern for some, but your unique connection to the ancient mysteries of Isis, your uncanny ability to decipher obscure signs, and your proven intuition make you the undeniable choice. You are to carry with you a sacred relic, a meticulously carved scarab beetle amulet fashioned from lapis lazuli, believed to possess ancient navigation magic, pointing the way toward your destiny. You might be thinking, a scarab? Really? Not a map or a GPS. But in this era, divine guidance was often far more reliable, or at least, more widely trusted, than any man-made chart. As you prepare, you feel the immense weight of expectation, not just from your pharaoh, but from the very gods themselves, whispering through the sands and the rustling papyrus reeds. The journey ahead is unknown, perilous, and undeniably your destiny. You stand on the deck of a sleek, double-masted ship, its papyrus sails catching the gentle breeze, pulling you away from the familiar, sun-drenched shores of Egypt. The smell of the Nile, earthy and fertile, slowly gives way to the briny scent of the open sea. You gaze back, watching the colossal pyramids shrink into distant triangles against the shimmering horizon. feeling a pang of both apprehension and profound wonder. Your retinue, a small but dedicated group of guards and scholars, keeps mostly to themselves, equally awed by the vastness of the ocean and the uncertainty of your destination. You grip the scarab amulet you carry. Its cool, smooth surface a comforting presence in your palm. It seems to hum faintly, almost imperceptibly, guiding the ship's course with an ethereal pull. Days turn into weeks. The sea, a fickle mistress, offers calm, sun-drenched passages interspersed with sudden, terrifying squalls that test the skill of your Egyptian sailors. You learn to brace yourself against the rolling waves, to discern the subtle shifts in the wind, and to marvel at the endless expanse of blue that stretches to meet the equally endless blue of the sky. Nights are a canvas of stars, brighter and more numerous than you ever imagined from the dusty plains of Egypt. Each constellation a silent testament to the vastness of the cosmos and the tiny speck you represent within it. You spend your waking hours poring over ancient scrolls, trying to decipher more clues from the cryptic prophecy, piecing together fragments of knowledge about these distant Hellenes. You discover they are a people of fierce independence, divided into many city-states, each with its own customs and gods, yet bound by a common language and the shared reverence for athletic prowess and epic poetry. One peculiar detail you stumble upon in an obscure text describes a mythical creature, half man, half bull, said to dwell in a labyrinth. You chuckle to yourself, imagining the logistics of feeding such a beast, and wonder if their legends are as literal as some of the tales spun in the marketplaces back home. Historians still debate whether the Minoan bull-leaping rituals were purely ceremonial or involved actual danger, but let's just say you wouldn't sign up for that intramural sport as your ship finally approaches the rugged coastline. The landscape changes dramatically, gone are the flat, fertile plains of the Nile, replaced by jagged, limestone cliffs plunging into deep blue waters. Olive groves cling to the hillsides, their silver-green leaves shimmering in the sunlight, and you spot what appear to be fortified settlements perched high on rocky outcrops. This is Mycenaean, a name that has only existed in whispers and speculative trade reports until now. The air here smells different too, of salt, pine, and something else, something wilder and less tame than the scent of your homeland. Your arrival is met with a mixture of suspicion and curiosity, as your Egyptian vessel, a majestic sight with its stylized lotus flower prow, slowly glides into the small, bustling harbor. Armed Mycenaean guards, their bronze armors glinting in the sun, appear on the docks. They carry formidable spears and shields, their faces stern beneath their plumed helmets. You disembark, holding your head high, keenly aware that you are a stranger in a strange land. Your traditional Egyptian attire drawing every eye. The language barrier is immediate, a thick wall between your dignified address and their guttural, unfamiliar tongue. Suddenly, a figure emerges from the ranks of the Mycenaean guards. He is young, perhaps a few years your senior, with a noble bearing and eyes that hold both intensity and an unusual spark of curiosity. This is Alexandros, a prince of Mycenae, and from the moment his gaze meets yours, you sense a connection, a faint recognition of the other bloodline from the prophecy. Unlike the hardened warriors around him, he approaches with a cautious openness, his gestures indicating a desire for parley rather than immediate confrontation. He signals for his men to lower their weapons, a bold move that speaks volumes about his character. He asks, through a grizzled merchant who surprisingly knows a smattering of Egyptian, why you have come to their shores. You explain, carefully choosing your words, about the recent tremors, the unsettling celestial signs, and the urgent need to understand the cosmic disequilibrium. Alexandros listens intently, his brow furrowed in thought, and you can almost feel the gears turning in his intelligent mind. This isn't just a political encounter, it's the first tangible step in fulfilling the ancient prophecy. You stand face to face with Alexandros, the Mycenaean prince, a man whose bearing suggests both a warrior's strength and a scholar's intellect. The grizzled merchant, surprisingly fluent in both your ancient tongue and the melodic Greek of Mycenae, acts as your interpreter, bridging the chasm of language. You explain the recent tremors, the unsettling celestial signs that have plagued your homeland, and the urgent call from the gods for balance to be restored. You speak of the ancient prophecy, its cryptic words echoing in the salty sea air, two royal bloodlines from distant lands, one from the river of life, one from the sea of souls, will meet to unravel an ancient curse and protect the world's equilibrium. Alexandros listens, his deep-set eyes intently fixed on yours. Unlike some of his stern, suspicious countrymen, there's a flicker of recognition, a genuine curiosity that belies his initial warrior's stance. He gestures towards the bustling port, the unloading of your ship, and invites you to the citadel, a massive fortress built from cyclopean stones, rumored to have been constructed by giants. As you walk through the narrow, winding streets of Mycenaean, you observe the differences in their culture, the sturdy, practical architecture, the emphasis on bronze weaponry, the way their people move with a raw, untamed energy. It's a stark contrast to the refined elegance and methodical order of Egyptian life. You notice a particularly odd custom. Some Mycenaean warriors wear helmets adorned with boar tusks, a surprisingly uncomfortable-looking choice for head protection. One wonders about the ventilation on those things, especially during a hot battle at the heart of the citadel. Within a grand meglan, a large rectangular hall adorned with vibrant frescoes depicting battles and mythical beasts. Alexandros shares his own observations. He speaks of the same unsettling tremors that shook Mycenaean, causing cracks in their mighty walls and unsettling the very earth beneath their feet. He shows you intricate star charts, etched onto clay tablets, revealing anomalies in the celestial movements that his wisest scholars cannot explain. Us, he states, his voice low and thoughtful, speak of a disharmony, a great serpent awakening from its slumber beneath the earth and sea. He points to a particular constellation, a faint, shifting cluster of stars that, according to his records, has not appeared in this configuration for thousands of years. The omens, he continues, are clear. Something is profoundly wrong. You present the scarab amulet, explaining its ancient power and its role in guiding your journey. As Alexandros holds it, a faint warmth emanates from the lapis lazuli, a subtle pulse that seems to synchronize with the beating of his own heart. He describes the strange, vivid dreams that have plagued him since the tremors began, dreams of a blinding light emanating from a hidden place, and a sense of growing dread that something ancient and powerful is stirring. The historians still debate the precise nature of Mycenaean religious beliefs, often blending elements of Minoan influence with their own developing pantheon. Was it all just vivid dreams, or was there truly a deeper, cosmic force at play? You certainly believe the latter. The prophecy speaks of a curse, a disequilibrium. You reiterate, your voice firm. And you, Alexandros, your dreams, your knowledge of the stars, they confirm it. We are not here by chance. You explain your interpretation, a forgotten deity or an ancient ritual gone awry, threatening to unbalance the very fabric of the world, intertwining the fates of your two civilizations. The only solution, you believe, lies in finding the heart of time, a legendary artifact whispered about in both Egyptian and Mycenaean lore, said to be capable of restoring cosmic order. This artifact, however, is not merely an object. It is said to be guarded by trials that test the very essence of those who seek it. Alexandros, after a moment of deep contemplation, extends his hand, a gesture of alliance. Then we shall seek this heart of time together, he declares, his voice resonating with determination. For the safety of both our peoples, for the balance of the world, we must unite. This moment marks the forging of an improbable alliance, a bond born not of conquest or diplomacy, but of shared destiny and a pressing, existential threat. You feel a strange sense of comfort in his presence, a feeling of hope that this daunting quest might just be within reach. Now that the two bloodlines have finally converged, the journey, however, is only just beginning, and the path ahead promises to be fraught with peril and ancient enigmas. With the alliance forged, you and Alexandros quickly assemble a small, elite team. From your side, there are the fiercely loyal Egyptian gods, Their bronze-plated shields bearing the hieroglyph of the falcon god Horus, and a grizzled scribe, wise in ancient lore but utterly bewildered by the rugged Greek landscape. Alexandros brings his most trusted Mycenaean warriors, men hardened by countless skirmishes, their muscles rippling under intricately crafted bronze cuirasses. They carry formidable dory spears and sturdy, figure-of-8 shields, each a testament to their martial prowess. You find their directness refreshing, if a little un-Egyptian. Your first objective, guided by cryptic symbols you deciphered from the prophecy and Alexandros' star charts, points you back towards the land of the Nile. The heart of time is said to be hidden in a place where the sun sets on the oldest of tombs. This, of course, means the sprawling, sand-swept necropolises of your homeland, where pharaohs sleep in their eternal, dusty slumber. The journey back across the Aegean is swifter this time, almost as if the sea itself recognizes the urgency of your quest. You spent hours with Alexandros, sharing knowledge, comparing your respective pantheons, and trying to find common ground in the vast tapestry of myths and legends. He tells you tales of Zeus and Hera, of the Titans and the Minotaur, and you recount the stories of Ra, Osiris, and the journey through the Duat. You discover that while your cultures are vastly different, the human desire for meaning, for understanding the divine, is universal. You even manage to teach him a few basic Egyptian phrases, and he, in turn, attempts to teach you some Greek. You both laugh at your mispronunciations. It's a welcome moment of levity amidst the gravity of your mission. Upon reaching the familiar shores of Egypt, you lead the team deep into the western desert, a place where the wind whispers secrets carried on ancient sands. The heat is oppressive, even for you, a native of this land. Alexandros and his men, accustomed to the cooler, more temperate climate of Greece, find it particularly challenging. You suggest they try smearing crocodile fat on their skin as a natural sunblock, a traditional Egyptian remedy. They politely decline, opting instead for thick cloaks and grim determination. One can only imagine the smell after a few days in the desert sun. Perhaps a good argument for hats instead. Your target is a lesser-known pyramid, not one of the grand structures of Giza, but an older, more enigmatic one, partially swallowed by the encroaching dunes. Local tales speak of it being cursed, a place where the unwary meet strange fates. As you approach, the air grows heavy, a palpable sense of ancient power emanating from the weathered stone. The entrance, half buried, is obscured by fallen rocks and what appear to be deliberately placed traps. The prophecy mentioned trials of the forgotten kings. You explain to Alexandros, pointing to a peculiar carving on a stone slab. It depicts a series of intricate symbols, each corresponding to a different riddle or puzzle. We must solve these to proceed. Your knowledge of ancient hieroglyphs and the complex cosmology they represent becomes invaluable. You trace the symbols with your finger, your mind racing to recall obscure texts from the temple of Isis. One riddle speaks of the eye that sees all but sees nothing, hinting at a chamber designed to trick the senses. Another describes the breath of the desert that steals life from the living, suggesting a trap involving poisoned air or sand. Historians still debate the true purpose of some of the more elaborate pyramid traps. Were they truly designed to deter rovers, or were they more symbolic challenges for the deceased soul? You lead the way, your instincts guiding you through the labyrinthine passages. You bypass hidden pressure plates, expertly disable tripwires, and even navigate a corridor where the very air seems to resist your breath, filled with a fine, irritating dust. Alexandros and his warriors, though initially skeptical of your priestly magic, are now visibly impressed, their respect for your unique skills growing with every solved puzzle. They provide crucial physical support, clearing debris, testing floors with their spears, and securing unstable sections of the ancient structure. One particular challenge involves a room where the walls are covered in rotating panels, each displaying a different image. You quickly deduce that they must be aligned in a specific sequence, representing the journey of the sun god Ra through the underworld. With Alexandros' keen spatial awareness and your knowledge of the divine journey, you work together, physically rotating the heavy stone panels, until the hidden door grinds open with a deafening roar. Deeper into the pyramid you venture, the air growing colder, heavier, and charged with an unseen energy, drawing you ever closer to the mysterious heart of time. Deeper into the ancient pyramid you venture, the air growing thick with the dust of ages and a palpable sense of otherworldly energy. The light from your flickering oil lamps casts long, dancing shadows, turning familiar hieroglyphs into menacing figures. You've bypassed the traps, solved the riddles, and now you find yourselves in a vast, echoing chamber, its ceiling lost in darkness. In the center stands a single, massive sarcophagus, not for a pharaoh, but of an unknown, non-royal design, radiating a faint, eerie hum. Your scarab amulet pulses more strongly now, guiding you toward it. This is not a tomb of a king, you whisper to Alexandros, your voice barely audible in the cavernous space. It feels different, older. He nods, his hand instinctively resting on the hilt of his sword, his Mycenaean warriors fanning out, spears at the ready, clearly unnerved by the unsettling stillness. One of them, a burly man named Lycos, keeps muttering under his breath about vengeful spirits. You can't help but wonder if he'd prefer facing a real monster to the psychological terror of ancient Egyptian burial practices. As you approach the sarcophagus, a strange, guttural chanting begins to reverberate through the chamber, seemingly from the very stones themselves. It's not Egyptian, nor is it Greek. It's an ancient tongue, raw and primal, resonating with a power that prickles your skin. Suddenly, from the shadows, grotesque, mummified figures stir, their dried linen bandages rustling like dry leaves. These are not mere animated corpses, they are guardians, infused with dark magic, their eyes glowing within malevolent red light, guardians of the forgotten. You identify, recognizing the protective spells woven into their very being. They are bound to this place. Alexandros doesn't hesitate. Then we fight them, he declares, drawing his bronze sword. The Mycenaean warriors, despite their initial unease, fall into their disciplined phalanx formation, their shields interlocking, ready for battle. You, however, know that direct combat might not be the only answer. These are not flesh and blood enemies, they are constructs of magic. As Alexandros and his men engage the reanimated guardians, their clanging bronze against the crumbling mummies creating a horrifying symphony, you focus your senses. The chanting grows louder, threatening to overwhelm your thoughts. You realize it's coming from the sarcophagus itself, a powerful ward, a binding spell. You need to break it, or at least disrupt it. Recalling your training in the temple of Isis, you begin to chant a counterspell, a protective incantation to unravel the dark magic. Your voice, initially a soft murmur, rose in strength, weaving a tapestry of light and truth against the oppressive darkness. The battle is fierce. The Mycenaean warriors, with their disciplined formations and brutal efficiency, cut down the mummified figures, but more rise from the shadows, seemingly endless. Lycos, despite his earlier trepidation, proves to be a formidable fighter, his spear finding its mark with chilling accuracy. Meanwhile, you notice Alexandros fighting with a ferocious intensity, his movements fluid and precise. A true prince of warriors, historians still debate the exact fighting techniques of Mycenaean armies. While we know about their bronze weaponry and shield formations, the specifics of their individual combat styles are largely speculative. One particular mummy, larger and more robust than the others, lunges at Alexandros, its withered claws reaching for his throat. You shout a warning, and Alexandros deftly sidesteps, plunging his sword into its chest, the ancient linen tearing with a dry rip. As your counterspell reaches its crescendo, the scarab amulet in your hand glows brightly, emitting a warm, golden light that pushes back the oppressive shadows. The chanting from the sarcophagus falters, then finally ceases. The reanimated guardians, their magical binds broken, crumple to the ground, dissolving into piles of dust and brittle linen. A profound silence descends upon the chamber, broken only by the heavy breathing of the warriors. You approach the sarcophagus again, its hum now replaced by a soft, steady pulse. Alexandros joins you, his face streaked with dust and sweat, but his eyes gleaming with triumph. Together, you gently push the heavy lid. Inside, resting on a bed of shimmering, phosphorescent sands, lies not a body, but a single, pulsating object. It is of gem, unlike any you have ever seen, clear as crystal, yet holding within it a swirling vortex of deep blues, purples, and greens. Like a miniature galaxy, it hums with a silent song, emanating an energy that feels both ancient and alive. This, you realize, is the heart of time. It radiates a sense of calm, a feeling of deep-seated balance, as if it is truly the anchor of all existence. But as you reach for it, a faint, almost imperceptible whisper drifts from the gem, a warning, a sense that this power, while immense, is not to be taken lightly. It holds the key to restoring order, but also the potential for unimaginable chaos if wielded by the wrong hands. As you reach for the pulsating heart of time, a shimmering, iridescent gem, a faint, almost imperceptible whisper drifts from its depths. It's not a sound you hear with your ears, but rather a thought that forms in your mind, a warning. This power, while immense, is not to be taken lightly. It holds the key to restoring order, but also the potential for unimaginable chaos if wielded by the wrong hands. Alexandros, sensing your hesitation, places a reassuring hand on your shoulder. "What is it?" he asks, his voice low, his warrior's instincts on high alert even in the presence of such profound serenity. "It speaks," you explain, "of balance, of the delicate thread that holds existence together, and of the grave responsibility that comes with touching such power." He nods, understanding. He, too, has felt the subtle shift in the air, the profound energy radiating from the gem. You both know that this is not merely an object to be possessed, but a force to be guided. Your journey continues, now with the heart of time safely, if temporarily, housed in a specially prepared, lead-lined chest to contain its immense energy. The ancient texts, both Egyptian and Mycenaean, hinted that merely finding the artifact was not enough. It needed to be activated, its power channeled through a specific ritual, at a specific place, where the energies of the sun and moon converged. This location, as your combined knowledge suggests, is not in Egypt, but in the heart of Greece, at the legendary site of Delphi, home to the oracle, where the earth itself was believed to speak. The return voyage across the sea is filled with a new sense of purpose, but also heightened tension. The tremors, though less frequent, still occur, serving as a grim reminder of the urgency of your mission. You and Alexandros spend hours poring over maps and fragmented texts, piecing together the next steps. He shows you crude, but surprisingly accurate, Mycenaean charts of the Aegean, dotted with familiar islands, some of which you knew only as distant specks. You, in turn, share your sophisticated understanding of constellations and celestial navigation, which leaves his sailors wide-eyed with wonder. It's rather amusing, isn't it, how even back then, data visualization was key. Just with less fancy software, the bond between you and Alexandros deepens during this time. You teach him about the quiet reverence for the natural cycles of the Nile, the intricate symbolism of your gods. He, in turn, shares the boisterous, often challenging nature of the Greek city-states, their love for athletic contests, and the dramatic narratives of their heroes. You find yourself smiling more often in his company, and he seems to soften under your influence, his warrior's edge tempered by a newfound appreciation for the subtler forces of the universe. One evening, under a sky ablaze with stars, he tells you a particularly humorous tale about a wrestling match where the combatants accidentally ended up in the king's private wine cellar, causing quite the royal uproar. However, not all is peaceful, even on the high seas. You sense the directions have not gone unnoticed. Whispers from your own Egyptian scouts, discreetly woven into the trade networks, speak of a rising faction within the pharaoh's court, a group of ambitious, power-hungry viziers who view your mission with suspicion, seeing it as an opportunity to destabilize the current regime. Similarly, Alexandros' own intelligence reveals factions within other Mycenaean city-states who see his alliance with an outsider as a weakness, a chance to challenge Mycenae's dominance. Historians still debate the precise level of inter-city-state intrigue during the Mycenaean period. Some suggest a delicate balance of power, others constant low-level conflict. This realization solidifies your resolve. You are not just battling a cosmic imbalance, but also very human greed and ambition. As you near the Greek mainland, the landscape transforms once more. Towering mountains, their peaks shrouded in mists, rise majestically from the coastline. The air grows cooler, crisper, carrying the scent of pine forests and wildflowers. This is a land of dramatic beauty, a stark contrast to the vast, open plains of Egypt. Your next destination is Delphi, nestled high in the mountains, the place of profound spiritual significance to the Greeks. It is here that you hope to fulfill the rest of the prophecy and truly restore the world's balance. The path ahead, you realize, will not be a simple one. The heart of time may be found, but its true purpose, its power to heal the world, still lies beyond a veil of ancient rituals and perilous trials, requiring the complete understanding and unity of two worlds. Your journey to Delphi, nestled high in the rugged mountains of Greece, is arduous. The path winds through dense pine forests and along treacherous mountain passes, a stark contrast to the flat, open deserts you are accustomed to. The air grows thin and crisp, carrying the scent of wild herbs and damp earth. Alexandros, accustomed to such terrain, leads the way with an easy confidence, while your Egyptian gods, more at home in the sand, find their footing less sure on the rocky slopes. One god, bless his heart, even slipped on a particularly slick patch of moss, muttering something about wanting his pyramid back. You're constantly reminded of the stark differences between your worlds. As you ascend, the landscape grows increasingly mystical. Ancient trees, twisted by time and wind, seem to whisper secrets, and the very rocks hum with an unseen energy. This is the realm of the gods, a place where the divine touches the mortal world more directly. You've heard tales of Delphi and its oracle, a priestess who channeled the prophecies of Apollo, but experiencing its raw power firsthand is something else entirely. However, your progress is not unnoticed. Whispers from your Egyptian scouts, who, despite their discomfort in the mountains, are remarkably adept at blending into local trade routes, confirm your suspicions. A faction of ambitious viziers in your homeland, eager to usurp power from the pharaoh, are spreading rumors that your mission is a fool's errand, a waste of resources, and even a betrayal of Egyptian traditions. They hint at a secret alliance they are forging with a cult, one that worships a forgotten, dark deity, believing that chaos will pave the way for their eyes. Historians still debate the extent of political factions and rivalries within the courts of ancient Egypt. It wasn't always the unified front portrayed in official records. Similarly, Alexandros' own intelligence network reveals a disturbing truth. Within the loose confederation of Mycenaean city-states, a powerful group of warlords, envious of Mycenae's influence, has formed a clandestine brotherhood of the Bronze Serpent. They see Alexandros' alliance with you, an outsider, as a sign of weakness, a violation of their ancient, isolated traditions. They believe the cosmic imbalance is an opportunity, a chance to forge a new world order under their brutal rule, and they are actively seeking to seize the heart of time for their own malevolent purposes. Their symbol, a coiled serpent devouring its own tail, is a grim reminder of their destructive ambitions. You even overheard one of their scouts complain about the lack of good wrestling matches lately, clearly focusing on the wrong priorities. This is a chilling realization. You are not just battling a cosmic disequilibrium, but very human greed, ambition, and a dangerous lust for power. The heart of time is not merely a tool for restoring balance, it is now a prize, a weapon sought by those who would plunge the world into deep chaos. As you draw closer to the sacred site of Delphi, the air becomes charged with a palpable tension. The famed oracle's temple, built into the side of the mountain, seems to loom with an almost sentient presence. The path leading to it is guarded by stern, unblinking priests of Apollo, their faces carved with an ancient solemnity. They eye your mixed retinue, Egyptians and Mycenaeans, with suspicion. Clearly unaccustomed to such an unusual gathering, you and Alexandros present yourselves to the head priest, explaining your mission, carefully omitting the more fantastical elements of the heart of time and focusing instead on the shared calamities afflicting both your lands. You speak of the earth's tremors, the strange celestial signs, and the urgent need to restore harmony. The head priest, a man of profound wisdom, listens intently, his eyes occasionally flicking towards the chest containing the heart of time. He seems to understand more than he lets on. Perhaps sensing the artifact's profound energy, he warns you that the path to true understanding at Delphi is not through brute force, but through inner reflection and spiritual purity. The Muses, he interns, his voice echoing into hallowed space, demand more than just a keen mind or a strong arm. They demand a pure heart and a unified purpose. This sets the stage for the next trials, which, you instinctively know, will test not just your intellect or your warrior skills, but the very bond you have formed with Alexandros, and the fragile alliance between your two disparate worlds. The human element, it seems, is just as crucial as a divine in this grand cosmic struggle. The head priest of Apollo, his eyes holding the wisdom of countless prophecies, grants you passage into the inner sanctum of Delphi, a labyrinthine complex carved into the very rock of the mountain. He cautions you, the path to the oracle is not merely physical, it is a journey of the mind and spirit. Many have sought answers here, but only those with true purpose find clarity. You nod, understanding the deeper meaning. This isn't about brute force, but about insight. Your first challenge comes in a circular chamber, its walls adorned with faded frescoes depicting the labors of Heracles and the wisdom of Athena. In the center, a large, intricately carved stone table holds a collection of ancient clay tablets and papyrus scrolls. They are not in your native Egyptian, nor in Alexandros' Mycenaean Greek, but in an older, almost primordial script, seemingly a blend of both, hinting at a common, forgotten ancestral language. These, the priest explains, his voice echoing eerily, contain the forgotten law, the true lineage of the heart of time. You must decipher them. They speak of its origins, its true purpose, and the final ritual needed to restore the balance. You feel a thrill of intellectual challenge. This is your domain, the unraveling of ancient texts. Alexandros, however, looks at the tablets with a respectful but slightly bewildered expression. His strength flies in battle and strategy, not in philology. You almost want to crack a joke about how this is definitely not a wrestling match, but you restrain yourself. You begin, tracing the symbols with your finger, your mind sifting through countless hours of study in the temple of Isis. You recognize fragments, a peculiar blend of Proto-Egyptian symbols interwoven with early Mycenaean linear script. Alexandros stands beside you, initially offering little direct help, but his presence is a comforting anchor. He occasionally points out patterns, suggests connections you might have missed, or simply keeps watch as your guards, wary of unseen dangers, scan the dimly lit chamber. One particular tablet seems to resist your efforts. It's covered in a series of concentric circles and celestial diagrams, interspersed with what look like mathematical equations. It's the kind of cryptic puzzle that would send most scribes fleeing in despair. You realize it represents the convergence of specific celestial bodies, the sun, the moon, and a distant, rarely seen comet, precisely at the location of Delphi. This, you deduce, is the timing of the final ritual. This is a map of the heavens, not of the earth, you explain to Alexandros, pointing to a series of dots that represent stars. And these lines, they describe a specific alignment. It's the key to activating the heart of time. You work tirelessly, cross-referencing this tablet with other fragments that seem to describe the heart of time itself. The texts hint at it being not merely a stone, but a living, pulsating entity, a resonance chamber for cosmic energies. Historians still debate the extent of astronomical knowledge possessed by ancient civilizations. Some theories suggest they were far more advanced than traditionally believed, capable of predicting rare celestial events. As you continue deciphering, a disturbing revelation emerges from the scrolls. The texts speak of a previous attempt to harness the heart of time by a powerful, but misguided, sorcerer from a long-lost civilization. This sorcerer, consumed by a lust for power, had sought to control cosmic forces rather than merely restore balance. His actions had led to a cataclysm, a great flood that wiped out his civilization and initiated the very disequilibrium you are now trying to correct. The ancient curse from your prophecy wasn't a punishment from the gods, but the lingering aftermath of this sorcerer's reckless ambition. And, chillingly, the texts suggest his spirit was not entirely vanquished, merely imprisoned, its malevolent will lingering near the heart of time, seeking a host or an opportunity to complete its destructive work. This is the true nature of the force of darkness you both felt. You share this revelation with Alexandros. His face darkens with understanding. So, this is not just about correcting an imbalance, he states, his hand instinctively going to his sword hilt, but about facing a lingering evil. The threat, you realize, is far more personal than you initially thought. The Brotherhood of the Bronze Serpent and the ambitious Egyptian viziers are merely pawns, perhaps unknowingly, in a much larger, more ancient game. The heart of time is not just a key, but a beacon, drawing both light and shadow to its power. Your alliance, now tested by ancient knowledge, must stand firm against a threat that transcends mere human ambition. The chilling revelation about the ancient sorcerer's lingering influence sends a shiver down your spine, but also steel into your resolve. This isn't just a cosmic balancing act, it's a direct confrontation with a malevolent will that has festered for millennia. The heart of time now feels less like a benevolent relic and more like a potential Pandora's box. Alexandros, ever the pragmatist, immediately begins devising strategies for facing an enemy that is not of this world, yet has very real-world consequences. Your next step, guided by the newly deciphered tablets, leads you away from the relative safety of Delphi, into the vast, untamed wilderness of the Peloponnese. The texts speak of a hidden spring, high in the mountains, a place of ancient power that resonates with the heart of time, a necessary conduit for its activation. This region, however, is notoriously desolate and guarded by both natural hazards and, as your scout reports suggest, the lurking presence of the Brotherhood of the Bronze Serpent. The journey is a grueling test of endurance. You traverse rocky gorges where eagles soar overhead, their cries echoing through the valleys. You ford icy mountain streams, your fine linen robes proving less than ideal for the rugged terrain. Alexandros, with his Mycenaean warriors, moves with an almost effortless grace through the difficult landscape, their robust leather and bronze armor offering far better protection against the elements than your traditional Egyptian attire. You occasionally find yourself longing for the flat, predictable sands of the Nile, where at least you knew what kind of creature might be lurking underfoot. You have to admire their grit, even if you're secretly thinking about how much easier a chariot would make this. Food becomes scarce. You rely on the Mycenaeans' hunting skills and their uncanny ability to find edible roots and berries in the most unlikely places. Alexandros, in particular, proves to be an adept trekker, his senses honed by years of living off the land during military campaigns. He even manages to catch a wild boar one evening, providing a much-needed feast for the weary group. Your Egyptian contingent, usually accustomed to a more varied diet, regards the roasted boar with a mixture of suspicion and grudging acceptance. One of your guards even muttered, half-jokingly, that he was starting to miss the humble date. Water, however, is the biggest challenge. The sun, even high in the mountains, can be relentless, and the spring sources are few and far between. You find yourselves rationing supplies, sharing your meager canteens, and pushing on despite the parched dryness in your throats. Alexandros, seeing your quiet struggle, often offers you his own water, a small gesture that speaks volumes about the growing trust and concern between you. Historians still debate the precise diet and survival techniques of various ancient military groups, but undoubtedly, ingenuity and resilience were key. It's during this arduous trek that you encounter the first direct challenge from the Brotherhood of the Bronze Serpent. They don't attack directly but set up subtle, yet effective, ambushes. Rock falls are triggered from above, Narrow passes are blocked by felled trees, and strange, unsettling effigies are left in your path, clearly meant to demoralize and slow you down. These aren't just random acts, they are coordinated, showing a disturbing knowledge of your movements. You realize they must have agents deeply embedded within the local populations, or perhaps even among the few shepherds you've passed. One evening, as you make camp in a sheltered grotto, a chilling wail echoes through the mountains, the eerie call of a Gorgon's siren song. It's a trick, a psychological weapon designed to sow fear and lure victims into traps. Alexandros' men immediately recognize the danger, covering their ears and urging caution. You, however, recognize it too, but from a different context. In some obscure Egyptian texts, there were warnings of desert spirits that mimicked human voices, luring travelers to their doom. You quickly concoct a countermeasure, a soft, repetitive chant in ancient Egyptian, designed to create a mental shield against the alluring, yet deadly, sounds. Your chant intertwines with Alexandros' shouted commands for his men to maintain discipline, a bizarre but effective symphony of ancient magic and military precision. The siren's song eventually fades, its power broken by your combined efforts. You emerge from the grotto the next morning, exhausted but undeterred. The heart of time, despite the physical toll of the journey, seems to pulse with an even stronger energy, almost as if drawing you closer to its fated destination. You know you are nearing the hidden spring, and with it, the potential for a final, decisive confrontation, not just with the physical threats, but with the lingering influence of the ancient sorcerer and the ambitious forces that seek to exploit his power. The grueling trek through the Peloponnese Mountains finally brings you to a hidden valley, shrouded in mist, where the air hums with an almost palpable ancient energy. The scarab amulet in your hand pulses with increasing intensity, and the heart of time within its protective chest seems to vibrate in anticipation. A faint, ethereal glow emanates from the valley floor, hinting at the hidden spring, the next crucial step in your quest. But this place, you instinctively feel, is not merely a conduit for healing, it is also a battleground, a place where ancient forces still linger. As you descend into the mist-shrouded valley, the atmosphere thickens, becoming heavy with an unnatural stillness. The trees are gnarled and ancient, their branches twisted into grotesque shapes, and the very ground underfoot feels strangely yielding. Suddenly, the silence is broken by a low, guttural growl, echoing from the dense foliage. Alexandros' warriors immediately snap to attention, their spears raised, their faces grim. You can tell they sense the presence of something ancient, something that defies their mortal understanding of warfare. From the swirling mist, shapes begin to coalesce. These are not human, nor are they mere beasts. They are creatures born of ancient myth, their forms shifting and indistinct, but undeniably menacing. You recognize them from Alexandros' tales, creatures that dwell in the deepest, darkest corners of Greek mythology. First, a minotaur-like beast lunges from the trees, its powerful, bovine head lowered, ready to charge. Then, a chilling hiss announces the arrival of a hydra-like creature, its multiple serpentine heads weaving through the mist, each tongue flickering with venomous intent. You almost wish you had brought that crocodile fat now. It probably wouldn't help against a hydra, but at least it's a thought. They are guardians. You explain, your voice firm despite the tremor of all you feel, not of the heart of time directly, but of this sacred place. They are projections, perhaps, of the ancient sorcerer's lingering will, manifesting from the deepest fears and legends of this land. Alexandros, without hesitation, barks orders to his men: form up, maintain discipline, aim for the joints. The weaknesses, the battle is chaotic and terrifying. The minotaur-like beast, with its immense strength, charges with devastating force, forcing Alexandros and his most skilled warriors to engage it directly. Their bronze swords clang against its thick hide, their coordinated movements a dance of death. You witness Alexandros fighting with an almost supernatural prowess, dudding a sweeping hoof, hurrying a crushing blow, his movements fluid and deadly. Meanwhile, the hydra-like creature lashes out with its venomous heads, forcing your Egyptian guards and Alexandros' less armored men to scatter and find cover. The constant hissing sound is unnerving. Like 1,000 angry snakes, you realize the conventional warfare alone won't be enough. These creatures are not fully corporeal. They are manifestations of dark magic and ancient fear, recalling the scrolls from Delphi, which hinted at the sorcerer's manipulation of primal energies. You begin to chant, not a direct attack spell, but an incantation to disrupt and unravel illusion, to weaken the binds that give these creatures their form. Your voice, clear and resonant, cuts through the din of battle, weaving a tapestry of light and spiritual energy. The scarab amulet pulses furiously in your hand, vibrating with a protective warmth. As your chant grows stronger, the monstrous forms of the creatures begin to flicker, their outlines becoming less defined, almost transparent. The minotaur-like beast seems to hesitate, its roars losing some of their ferocity. The hydra's heads thrash wildly, as if in agony, its hisses turning into strained whimpers. Alexandros, noticing the shift, capitalizes on the moment. With a powerful thrust, he and 2 of his warriors manage to disorient the Minotaur, and then, with a coordinated strike, they sever one of its legs, causing it to roar in pain and finally dissolve into a cloud of swirling mist. The Hydra, however, proves more resilient. Even as your chant weakens its form, its heads seem to regenerate almost as quickly as they are severed by the Mycenaean blades. It's a terrifying stalemate. One of Alexandros' most trusted warriors, a man named Diomedes, manages to pin one of the Hydra's heads, but another lurches forward, its fangs dripping venom, aiming directly for him. You act instinctively, focusing the power of the scarab amulet, projecting a shield of golden light that deflects the attack just in time. We must find the source, you shout to Alexandros, pointing towards the faint glow deeper in the valley, where the hidden spring must be. These are mere projections. The sorcerer's true influence is there. He nods, understanding the gravity of your words. Historians still debate the practicalities of fighting mythological beasts. I'd argue a good plan beats brute force every time. The battle against the creatures has weakened them, but the true test, the confrontation with the lingering will of the ancient sorcerer, still awaits you at the very heart of this mystical, dangerous valley. The battle with the monstrous guardians leaves your team bruised but resolute. Alexandros, his bronze armor dented but his spirit unbroken, gathers his weary warriors, their faces streaked with grime and sweat. You, too, feel the drain of channeling ancient energies, but the urgency of your mission propels you forward. The faint, ethereal glow from deeper in the valley intensifies, pulling you inexorably towards the hidden spring, and with it, the true source of the lingering malevolence. As you push through the last vestiges of mist, the valley opens into a small, secluded clearing. In its center, nestled amidst ancient, moss-covered stones, is a pool of shimmering, impossibly clear water. The hidden spring, its surface glows with another worldly light, reflecting the verdant canopy above. This is a place of profound natural beauty, yet an unsettling aura emanates from it, a cold presence that belies its serene appearance. And there, standing beside the spring, is a figure, not a corporeal being, but a shimmering, translucent form, like a ripple in the air. It's the ancient sorcerer, or rather, the lingering essence of his will, a specter of immense power and malevolent intent. His eyes, though lacking pupils, seem to bore into your very soul, radiating an ancient hunger. He doesn't speak with a voice, but his thoughts pierce your mind, a chilling whisper. Fools, you seek to restore balance. I seek to reshape it, to bend it to my will. The heart of time will be mine. Alexandros immediately draws his sword, his warriors forming a protective circle around you and the chest containing the heart of time. Their bronze weapons gleam in the ethereal light, ready to strike. But you know that steel alone cannot vanquish a spirit. You recall the ancient texts you deciphered at Delphi, which described the sorcerer's insatiable desire for power, and how he had nearly shattered the world in his misguided pursuit. Some historians believe that legends of ancient catastrophes, like the Great Flood, might be echoes of real, Devastating climate events, possibly exacerbated by human actions. You step forward, clutching the scarab amulet, its warmth a comfort against the sorcerer's icy presence. You seek to mend what was broken. The sorcerer's thought echoes in your mind, laced with derision. But chaos is creation. The old order must fall for the new to rise. He gestures, and the very air around the spring distorts. Phantoms of his lost civilization begin to appear, shimmering like heat haze, fleeting images of colossal structures, strange, advanced machinery, and faces contorted in agony, victims of his hubris. He's trying to overwhelm you with visions of his past power and the chaos he once wrought. You realize this is not a physical battle, but a struggle for control over the heart of time and, by extension, the very fabric of reality. The sorcerer's essence is bound to the relic, feeding off its power, twisting it for his own dark purpose. You glance at Alexandros, who, despite not fully comprehending the spiritual nature of the threat, instinctively understands the gravity of the moment. His hand tightens on his sword, and he offers a silent, determined nod, ready to act on your command. Suddenly, the ground beneath your feet trembles again, a low rumble that echoes the original tremors. The sorcerer laughs, a soundless, chilling laugh that reverberates in your mind. The world is already unraveling. Your petty efforts are futile. He extends a spectral hand towards the chest, attempting to pull the heart of time towards him, to fully merge his being with its immense power. You feel a surge of primal fear, a desperate need to protect the artifact. You quickly recite an ancient Egyptian incantation of warding, focusing all your will. The scarab amulet glows fiercely, projecting a barrier of golden light that momentarily repels the sorcerer's spectral hand. He recoils, a flicker of surprise crossing his translucent features. He hadn't anticipated such a potent defense. Your magic, combined with the innate protective properties of the amulet, has given you a brief reprieve. He is bound to the heart of time. You whisper to Alexandros, "We cannot destroy him directly. We must survey his connection to the relic, or rather, purify it of his lingering influence." This realization brings a new layer of complexity to the challenge. You are not just fighting an enemy, you are trying to heal a wound that has festered for millennia within the artifact itself. The true confrontation, the ultimate test of your combined powers, is about to begin. The heart of time now seems to pulse with an almost frantic rhythm, mirroring the urgency of the battle that is about to unfold. The ancient sorcerer's spectral form flickers, momentarily recoiling from your magical ward, but his malevolence will remain potent, a chilling presence in the heart of the sacred valley. You know this is the decisive moment. Alexandros, understanding the urgency of your silent plea, gives a sharp command to his warriors. They fan out, creating a defensive perimeter, their bronze weapons glinting in the eerie light, ready to deflect any spectral attacks the sorcerer might conjure to confront any lingering illusions. Lycus, that burly Mycenaean warrior, even manages a grim smile, clearly preferring a tangible enemy. Even if it's a shadowy phantom, it's a curious thing, isn't it? How different cultures perceive and combat what lurks in the shadows. The sorcerer, regaining his ethereal composure, focuses his immense, ancient power directly on the chest containing the heart of time. A dark, swirling vortex of energy begins to coalesce around it, attempting to corrupt the artifact, to bend its purifying power to his own destructive aims. You can feel the gem vibrating wildly within its confines, struggling against the malevolent influence. The very air around you crackles with uncontrolled energy, making the hairs on your arms stand on end. He seeks to consume its power. You shout to Alexandros, your voice strained as you fight against the invisible pressure. We must sever his connection, purify it. You realize that a direct magical confrontation might be futile against a being of such ancient malice. Instead, you need to disrupt his focus, to create an opening for the heart of time to reassert its true nature. You begin to chant, not a spell of attack, but a complex ritual of purification and banishment learned from the deepest archives of the Temple of Isis. Your voice rises, clear and strong, weaving a tapestry of light and truth. The scarab amulet in your hand pulses with a fierce, golden light, amplifying your intent. Images of the balanced scales of Mount, of the life-giving flow of the Nile, of the benevolent embrace of Isis, flood your mind, empowering your words simultaneously. Alexandros, ever the brilliant strategist, recognizes the sorcerer's vulnerability, his distraction, while the spectral being pours its energy into seizing the heart of time. Its focus is narrowed. Now, Alexandros rose, leading his warriors in a coordinated charge, not directly at the sorcerer, but at the distorted, flickering illusions that still linger around the edges of the clearing. They use their Mycenaean phalanx formation, moving with precise, disciplined movements, their spears cutting through the spectral forms, further disrupting the sorcerer's concentration. The clash of bronze against her, the rhythmic stumping of their feet, creates a cacophony that reverberates through the valley, an earthly counterpoint to your divine chanting. The sorcerer, momentarily thrown off balance by the combined assault, his malevolent focus wavering, lets out a silent shriek of frustration that echoes painfully in your mind. The dark vortex around the heart of time lessens, and you feel the artifact pulse with renewed, struggling energy. This is your chance. You amplify your chant, pouring all your will into the words, summoning the pure energies of the cosmos to flow into the heart of time. You envision the sorcerer's essence, a dark stain, being purged from the artifact, like venom from a pure spring. Alexandros, seeing your efforts, orders his men to focus their attacks even more intensely on the surrounding phantoms, drawing more of the sorcerer's scattered attention. He even creates a tactical diversion, sending a small group of his most agile warriors to seemingly flank the sorcerer, forcing the ethereal being to shift its focus. Albeit briefly, this combined onslaught of ancient magic and disciplined martial prowess begins to work. The sorcerer's spectral form starts to writhe, shrinking, its hold on the heart of time weakening rapidly. The terrifying visions he had conjured dissipate like smoke. He attempts one last desperate surge, a wave of chilling despair meant to overwhelm your minds. But the purity of your chant and the unwavering resolve of Alexandros and his men hold firm. With a final, ethereal cry of impotent rage, the sorcerer's essence is finally torn from the heart of time. He doesn't vanish entirely, but rather collapses back into the depths of the spring, becoming a mere dormant whisper, a contained echo of his former malice. Unable to wield the artifact's power, the heart of time glows brilliantly now, its light no longer struggling, but radiating a clear, vibrant energy, a silent testament to its regained purity. The tremors cease, the air in the valley lightens, filled with a sense of profound calm and ancient peace. The cosmic balance, or at least a significant part of it, has been restored, thanks to the improbable alliance between the river and the sea. The profound silence that descends upon the valley after the sorcerer's essence is banished is not merely the absence of sound, but a tangible sense of peace, a cleansing of the ancient taint. The very air feels lighter, cleaner, as if a great weight has been lifted from the world. The heart of time, now fully purified, glows with an intense, steady light, no longer frantic but radiating pure, benevolent energy. Its colors deepen, swirling with blues, greens, and purples that reflect the vastness of both the Nile and the Aegean, a testament to the balance it now embodies. You approach the spring, feeling an almost irresistible pull from the radiant gem. Alexandros, his face illuminated by its glow, stands beside you, his hand still on the hilt of his sword, not in readiness for battle, but in a gesture of profound respect. His warriors, exhausted but victorious, lower their weapons, their eyes wide with awe at the sight of the pulsating artifact and the serene beauty of the now peaceful valley. Even Lycos, the burly warrior, looks genuinely stunned, muttering something about having seen enough magic for a lifetime. You might think that witnessing a spectral sorcerer fight will be the wildest thing, but ancient Greece had knack for topping itself. The time has come to activate the heart of time fully, to truly reweave the threads of cosmic balance. Recalling the deciphered tablets from Delphi, You know that the ritual requires the combined energies of both the sun and the moon, a convergence that occurs only rarely, and which, according to your calculations, is happening now, precisely above this hidden spring. It also requires the harmony of the two bloodlines, a symbolic union of the river and the sea, of reason and intuition, of earth and sky. You place your hands gently on the chest containing the heart of time. The gem inside throbs in response, sending a warm, tingling sensation up your arms. Alexandros, without a word, places his hands over yours. His touch is firm, grounding, a perfect complement to your more ethereal connection with the artifact. Together, you begin the final incantation, drawing upon the purest aspects of both your cultures. You chant the ancient Egyptian hymns to Ra, the sun god, invoking his life-giving warmth and celestial power. Simultaneously, Alexandros recites the Mycenaean invocations to Selene, the moon goddess, calling upon her serene light and guiding wisdom. As your voices intertwine, a powerful surge of energy emanates from the heart of time. The light from the gem intensifies, casting brilliant hues across the valley. Above you, through a break in the trees, you see the impossible, the sun, a fiery orb on the western horizon, and the moon, a crescent of silver, already rising in the eastern sky, both perfectly aligned above the spring. This celestial convergence, combined with your combined wills and ancient chants, creates a powerful conduit. A pillar of pure, radiant light erupts from the heart of time, piercing the heavens. It connects the gem to the celestial bodies above, drawing down their combined energies. The earth beneath your feet vibrates, not with destructive tremors, but with a harmonious hum, a deep resonance that settles the agitated tectonic plates. Quieting the restless seas, you feel the subtle shift in the world, a realignment, a restoration of the cosmic order that had been disrupted for millennia. The ancient curse is lifted. The world breathes a collective sigh of relief. This moment of profound connection, of shared power and purpose, creates an unspoken understanding between you and Alexandros. Your hands remain intertwined over the heart of time, a silent testament to the bond that has formed between a priestess from the Nile and a prince from the Aegean. This isn't just about restoring balance to the world, it's about a new understanding, a new era where two powerful civilizations, once separated by vast distances and cultural differences, have found common ground in the face of a shared threat. The heart of time, now a symbol of this newfound harmony, pulses gently, its work done, its energy settling into a quiet, watchful glow. The sun dips below the horizon, and the moon rises higher, casting its gentle light over a world made whole again. The instant the pillar of light faded, the world responded, not with a cataclysm, but with a profound, subtle settling. You feel it in your very bones. The earth beneath your feet solidifies, the last lingering tremors finally ceasing. The air, which had been thick with tension, now hums with a fresh, clean energy. The distant cries of agitated animals quieten, replaced by the gentle rustling of leaves and the distant, harmonious murmur of a hidden waterfall. It's as if the world collectively sighed in relief. News of the miraculous cessation of the tremors spreads like wildfire across both your lands. In Egypt, the pharaoh's court, initially skeptical of your mission, now hails you as a savior. The ambitious viziers who had sought to undermine you find their power base crumbling as the people rejoice in the stability you've brought. The Nile, which had shown signs of unusual flooding and recession, now flows with its accustomed, life-giving rhythm. You receive messages, carried by swift ships and riders, detailing the joyous celebrations in your homeland, the prayers of thanks offered to Isis, and the renewed sense of prosperity sweeping across the land. It's a remarkable turnaround, isn't it? From being on the edge of political ruin to becoming a national hero overnight. In Greece, Alexandros is met with even greater fervor. The Brotherhood of the Bronze Serpent, exposed by their earlier sabotage attempts and weakened by the failure of their chaotic agenda, dissolves amidst infighting and public condemnation. The other Mycenaean city-states, witnessing the return of stability and the prosperity it brings, now look to Mycenae and to Alexandros with renewed respect and awe. His bold alliance with you, once seen as a potential weakness, is now hailed as an act of profound foresight and courage. The seas, previously plagued by unusual storms and unpredictable currents, become calm and navigable again, fostering renewed trade and communication across the Aegean. You can practically hear the shouts of triumph from the wrestling arenas. But for once, it's not about who won a match, but about the world being saved. Historians still debate how quickly ancient societies could adapt to major shifts. But one thing's for sure, good news travels fast. Even without Wi-Fi, the heart of time, now a benevolent guardian, is carefully resecured, its purpose fulfilled. It no longer pulses with urgent energy, but radiates a soft, steady glow, a constant reminder of the balance achieved. You and Alexandros spend several more days at the hidden spring, discussing the implications of your actions. You both recognize that while the immediate threat is gone, the world has irrevocably changed. The lines between your two civilizations, once so distinct, have blurred. There's a newfound respect, a burgeoning curiosity, and an understanding that extends beyond mere trade. Alexandros proposes a revolutionary idea: regular diplomatic exchanges and scholarly visits between Egypt and the Greek city-states, no longer just merchants, but priests, philosophers, artisans, and even warriors would travel between your lands, sharing knowledge, techniques, and cultures. Imagine Egyptian architects sharing the secrets of monumental stonework with Greek builders, or Greek philosophers debating the nature of the cosmos with Egyptian scribes. You envision a future where the wisdom of the Nile flows freely into the intellectual currents of the Aegean, and vice versa. You might wonder if this was the genesis of all those cool Egyptian influences you see in later Greek art and architecture. Pretty neat, huh? You agree wholeheartedly. This is the true legacy of your quest, a vision of the world where understanding triumphs over ignorance, and cooperation replaces conflict. You realize that your personal bond with Alexandros, born out of shared peril and mutual respect, is a microcosm of this idea, burgeoning alliance. You have not just restored an ancient balance, you have laid the groundwork for an era of unprecedented cultural exchange and peace. The world, once teetering on the brink of chaos, is now poised on the precipice of a golden age, all thanks to two improbable heroes. The time eventually comes for farewells. You stand with Alexandros at the bustling port of Mycenaean, the same place where your Egyptian vessel had first docked, stirring curiosity and suspicion among the local populace. Now, however, the atmosphere is different. There's a palpable sense of warmth, of gratitude, radiating from the Mycenaean people who line the docks, waving and cheering for your departing ship. Your Egyptian gods and scholars, once tentative and bewildered by this foreign land, now share knowing glances and even a few crude jokes with their Mycenaean counterparts. You realize how much has changed, not just in the cosmic balance, but in the hearts and minds of the people. You look at Alexandros, his noble face etched with a mixture of satisfaction and profound longing. The journey has forged an unbreakable bond between you. A shared destiny that transcends the vast distances separating your homelands. You are from the ancient, serene land of the Nile, where life flows as steadily as the river itself, guided by timeless traditions and the wisdom of the gods. He is from the rugged, vibrant land of the Aegean, where the spirit of individual prowess and intellectual inquiry burns brightly, fueled by the endless possibilities of the sea. You are, in essence, the river and the sea, forever intertwined by the heart of time and the mission you shared. There's an unspoken understanding that your paths, though forever linked, must diverge for now. You are needed in Egypt, to guide your people into this new era of peace and prosperity, to nurture the seeds of knowledge and diplomacy that you've sown. Alexandros, too, has his duties in Mycenaean, to lead his kingdom, to foster the nascent alliances, and to continue exploring the frontiers of knowledge and expansion. It's a bittersweet moment, this parting. You might even feel a tear prick at the corner of your eye, a small, human emotion amidst the grandeur of your divine mission. Sometimes, Even world-saving heroes have to deal with the practicalities of long-distance relationships, or at least, long-distance diplomacy. You embrace a gesture that speaks volumes without a single word. He places a small, intricately carved bronze figurine of a Mycenaean warrior into your hand, a symbol of strength and protection. In return, you offer him a papyrus scroll, containing not just ancient Egyptian wisdom, but also a finely drawn map of the Nile, an invitation to his people to explore your lands and learn from your ancient ways. The scarab amulet, now resting in your own pocket, feels warm and comforting, a constant reminder of the journey shared as you board your ship, the sails unfurling to catch the wind. You look back one last time. Alexandros stands on the dock, a regal figure framed against the setting sun, watching your ship shrink into the distance. You know that while your physical presence will be missed, the bridge you have built between your two worlds will endure. You return to Egypt, to our hero's welcome. The pharaoh, now fully trusting in your wisdom, elevates you to a position of unprecedented influence. You become more than a priestess, you are a visionary, guiding Egypt into a golden age of intellectual curiosity and international diplomacy. Under your subtle guidance, Egyptian scribes begin to learn Greek, and Mycenaean artisans arrive to exchange techniques, leading to incredible new advancements in both architecture and art. The great libraries of Egypt open their doors, inviting scholars from across the seas to delve into their ancient knowledge. Meanwhile, Alexandros, as the great king of Mycenae, establishes enduring trade routes and diplomatic ties, not just with Egypt, but with other emerging powers. He encourages exploration, sending his ships to distant lands, gathering knowledge and fostering understanding. The tales of your combined heroism become legends, whispered around campfires and carved into temple walls, inspiring future generations to seek unity rather than division. Historians still debate the exact level of interconnectedness between these ancient empires, but suffice to say, your story certainly put them on the fast track. Years turn into decades. Though you and Alexandros never meet again in person, your legacy intertwines. The cultural exchange you initiated flourishes, enriching both civilizations in ways unimaginable before. You live a long, fulfilling life, a testament to the power of wisdom and connection. Alexandros, too, reigns wisely, his name forever etched in the annals of Mycenaean history as the king who bridged worlds. You both continue to lead your people, always looking to the horizon, to the possibilities that arise when the river meets the sea, when knowledge is shared, and when understanding transcends all boundaries. The heart of time, hidden away once more in a sacred vault, remains a silent guardian, a symbol of the profound and lasting impact of your extraordinary journey.